What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for our Monday Night Raw review from December the 21st, 2020. We are on the holiday edition of Monday Night Raw, with the main event being what they advertised as a 6-person holiday street fight. But what we got for 95% of that match was a normal 6-man tag match. Who books this shit? Like, seriously. I know I'm not starting at the beginning because it's just the booking decisions that WWE goes into. Let's have Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, and Sheamus team up to take on AJ Styles, The Miz, and John Morrison. In what we call a holiday street fight, we have all the dressings up on the outside for a holiday street fight, and majority of the match is a normal wrestling match. What in the literal fuck was the point? Asuka and Charlotte Flair had their first match tonight as well. Alexa Bliss makes her return. Honestly, the best part of the night because nothing else on this show matters. The rest of the show just fucking sucks. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, we see what happened last night and we get recaps of TLC. Charlotte Flair is the first person to come out because we got to make it about Charlotte Flair right off the bat. And she says, I am in the Thunderdome. But what would the Thunderdome be without the Queen? She hits we get the video package and everything. Flair says she brags at winning gold her first night back and says nothing has changed and the Queen is not in the last 6 months. Honestly, I think something has changed, Charlotte. Don't you lie. She says, for months, for years, actually, Charlotte and Asuka have been battling each other for the women's championships on Raw or SmackDown. Charlotte has taken the women's title from Asuka twice on SmackDown. So, WWE had Charlotte go out there and like, this person is my friend, my compadre, my tag team partner, Asuka. Asuka comes out, they talk for a minute, out comes Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. They have some shit, out comes Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, who are supposed to be facing the former tag team champions in a bit. But it's just like, why would you have Asuka, like, so after all the shit that's gone through between these two, many times that Asuka has not beaten Charlotte in a one-on-one match. At least I don't think she has. Has she? I think she did earlier this year. Now, apparently, they're just the best of friends. Really? Really, what the fuck? It makes no sense. So, yeah. All of them come out. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke make fun of the former tag team champions because they lost their titles last night. And then we get that match. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So, apparently, the Dana Brooke and Asuka has dubbed Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose the sexy muscle friends. What in the literal fuck was that? Wow. Just wow. So, this match was nothing special. Typical WWE. Nia Jax and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win. Obviously, they want the tag team titles again. Dana Brooke and the babyfaces, by the way, the babyfaces after the match attack Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, leaving them on the floor while they sit there and pose in the ring. By the way, Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce would take on the tag team champions later in the night. You want to know how much WWE and Vince McMahon do not care about the women's wrestling, the women's tag team division? They have broken up every single tag team that was a tag team at the beginning of the year, but one. The Riot Squad, who were brought back together after they were feuding at the beginning of the year. They broke up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I know Sonya Deville's not around right now because of the stalking incident. You have the Moronics being broken up. And that was it. There were 3 tag teams. Oh yeah, the Kairi Sane and Asuka were also broken up, but Kairi Sane went back to Japan to be an ambassador and wants to live with her husband. If NXT Japan ever comes up, I'm sure we'll see Kairi Sane in NXT Japan. I'm just saying. So, we see this how the Hurt Business captured the tag team titles last night. Back from break, and we see it's time for a championship edition in the VIP lounge. Of course, I've noticed, and I think everyone else has noticed, that Cedric Alexander is being very outspoken. He seems to be gloating more than anything. The dude just seems to have the biggest ego right now in the Hurt Business. And it just feels like what's going to happen is because Shelton Benjamin starts talking, he has the microphone, he starts talking, And he says about 3 words, or he says like one sentence, and then Cedric Alexander speaks up, and you can just tell by his body language and his reaction that this is he's got patience, but Shelton Benjamin's patience with Cedric Alexander always seeming to interrupt him or stealing his moment last night is going to get on his nerves eventually, to where things are going to turn bad for the Hurt Business. Back from break. Oh yeah, never mind, we were there. So they're gloating and everything, and then MVP's like, we need to commemorate this with a couple pictures, for historic reasons. So they all pose in the VIP lounge with the titles. Unbeknownst to them, behind them is R-Truth on the turnbuckle holding his championship up, sneaking into the pictures. And the only reason they didn't even know he's there is because the one half of the Viking Raiders, who is not the injured one, is running out there with Lince Dorado, Grand Metalik, and others. It's like, yeah, the Viking Raiders are decommissioned right now because one's injured. So what do? You have the other one go out there and run for the 24/7 championship instead of, having him do something else. Just wow. So the Hardy Bros come out, and now I want this tag team to work, and the reason I want the Hardy Bros tag team to work is because Vince McMahon has dubbed, I don't want to sound racist with this, but Matt Riddle is the White R-Truth to Vince McMahon, as in, and I say it like this: Vince McMahon thinks that Matt Riddle's character is hilarious and funny, but he doesn't want to do anything with it other than just being a mid-card guy. If the Hardy Bros thing actually takes off, Matt Riddle could at least be doing something with Jeff Hardy, and it gives him a little bit higher on the rung than it would be being toiling in the back with his bro nuts and anything else that he does. So we were one step away from it being Matt Riddle running the gauntlet running around for the 24/7 championship and trading it with R-Truth on a weekly basis, getting into shenanigans that Vince McMahon directs himself week in and week out. Because that's what Vince McMahon sees in Matt Riddle. He doesn't see a world champion. He doesn't even see a United States champion. He sees a funny guy, and that's all he's going to be. Funny don't make money in the wrestling business. And Vince McMahon sees no money being drawn in R-Truth or Matt Riddle. Riddle congratulates them on the Sunday win, but thinks you're doing the celebration wrong. They're spending too much time on champagne in the club when they could be hanging out in the backyard, getting toasted with the homies, aka getting high. Listening to the Joe Rogan podcast on comedy special or a comedy special. I'm surprised WWE allowed him to say Joe Rogan special podcast. That's yeah. He goes rambling on about everyone is the same and just chill out. MVP says we're not the same, and since Riddle doesn't know what he's talking about, they don't either. MVP says no one cares about Riddle's harebrained concept and asks, what is Riddle talking about? Hardy interrupts and says life is more than status, and they'd rather live their life of pride than greed. He goes on and says faith is what they're going to need to be able to beat the Hurt Business later tonight. Later on, Randy Orton will react to the Firefly Inferno match that happened last night, where they lit a man on fire. Drew Gulak versus the returning Angel Garza, who hasn't been seen in weeks. Sarah Schreiber walks up to him and asks about how he's prepared for this match, but he just flirts with her, gives her a rose, and says, maybe after I'm done fighting him, you could interview him again under the mistletoe in a room. Garza walks off. Schreiber looks disturbed or annoyed or something. Garza heads to the ring as he gets introduced. This match lasted about 3 minutes, maybe. Angel Garza gets the win, nothing special there. And then we get a Miz TV segment. Basically, here's what happened in the Miz TV segment. Miz came out, apologized to his family because he failed to cash in the Money in the Bank. Brings on AJ Styles, wants to apologize to him. They bicker for a bit. Omos comes in and says, dude, you didn't cash in the Money in the Bank. Morrison did. Miz is like, you know what? He's right. I should still have my Money in the Bank briefcase because I'm the only one who can cash in, so that wasn't a legit cash in. Gee, Miz, would you, if you would have won the WWE Championship and someone brought that up, would you agree with them or would you disagree with them? It's just smoke and mirrors. It's fucking bullshit and we all know it. So, Sheamus, Keith Lee, and Drew McIntyre all come out reciting the Nightmare after TLC. They get into a brawl. Sheamus looks like he's going to bro kick a down Miz. Keith Lee's off to the side when AJ Styles drop kicks Keith Lee, who falls into Sheamus. Those two have some words. Drew McIntyre tries to play the peacekeeper between the two, and that was Miz TV. Cancel this fucking show. They are irrelevant. Miz TV needs to just go off the air. So, where are we at now? The announcers hype about Ricochet versus T-Bar because nobody should be hyped about that. We get a video package of what's been happening between Ricochet and Retribution, which Ricochet is going through every member of Retribution before he takes on Mustafa Ali. And for some reason, he's losing every single match. Lost the Slapjack, lost the Mace, loses the T-Bar tonight. It's like 4-on-1 against Ricochet because everyone seems to be getting involved. Ricochet does get a piece of Mustafa Ali, but he ends up getting taken out by T-Bar for the win. After the match, music hits as we go to replays. Retribution hits the ring. T-Bar stands over Ricochet and takes the mic, telling him they are your allies, not your enemy, and he will either join them or his existence will come to an end. Drops the mic and they yell down at Ricochet as he looks on from the back. Oh, he looks on from his back. So, and apparently this is going to go on for weeks. I can see this going on to the Royal Rumble, and it's like Ricochet versus Ali. If Ricochet wins, Retribution leaves him alone. If Ricochet loses, which he'll probably lose, he has to join Retribution. I'm just saying, that's probably where they're going to go with this. We see a video from earlier of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, like, their reaction to losing last night. And Woods is like, man, we won tag titles, we lost tag titles. No biggie, we'll get them back eventually. Kofi says that the Hurt Business and they lost a piece of his teeth when the TLC match, at the TLC match, on the pay-per-view, and goes on about how the New Day will bounce back because this is what they do all the time. MVP and Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy. This was a meh match, nothing special here. Hardy is trying to take it to Lashley. Lashley dodges a swanton, which was fucking dumb. Jeff gets up because when Jeff was younger, him getting up to the swanton bomb was like quick. He was like quick. Watching Jeff do anything on the ropes or on the corner, it shows his age. He's taking forever to get up there. He's slow as can be. So by the time he even gets himself ready to do the swanton, the camera's not positioned to where we don't see Lashley. You can see Lashley in the corner already roll towards the turnbuckle. So if Hardy does the swanton, he's missing no matter what. So Hurt Lock on, ragdolls Hardy. Hardy taps out, and that is that. Back from break, and the Elias is in the ring with Jackson Ryker. Elias says Ryker is the man who understands the universal truth, but the fake fans boo. Elias talks about the ups and downs. He had nothing, that his 2020 has been a whirlwind. He goes on with the message of his fans, but says before Ryker can send the message to his opponent what the beating he has, he wants to remind us, but out come Metalik and Lince Dorado. This was your typical squash match, except Elias decided, I'm going to sit on the top turnbuckle and play some music while Ryker beats up on Metalik. That doesn't last very long. Hurricanrana to Elias. Ryker comes in with a choke powerbomb for the 1-2-3. I have to say this about Ryker. I'm glad he stopped doing that slingshot powerbomb because that shit was dangerous and it looked stupid. A choke powerbomb, much better. So he gets the win, and that is that. So the announcers sent us the video package of the night's first ever Firefly Inferno match on TLC, which Randy Orton defeated The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Orton walking backstage, and now he's smiling back. So, before we get to this, last week was the lowest ratings in WWE Raw history. Lowest in the 1830 in the key demo, lowest overall. USA upper management are not happy. They want something done now. reactionary. They want something that's going to boost the ratings and get them into, to start the upward trajectory. Here's what USA and the WWE brass need to know. You're not going to get a long-term plan over fucking night, no matter what you do. Just because... So what do they do? What do they do? Do you want to book Keith Lee, Ricochet, or somebody to the top eventually? Or do you want to go bring back Austin, bring back Hogan, bring back the legends that you still have? If you went with B, ding, 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 you are a winner. Because WWE decides that they're going to do Legends Night. The first WWE Raw of the year. 28 years of Monday Night Raw. They're going to celebrate it with Hogan, Tori Wilson, The Big Show, because that's a Raw draw right there. Ric Flair. They flashed up Carlito for some reason. All these other legends. That's great. The first episode of the year is going to be good ratings for them. Good on them. Here's one problem. It's only going to work for 1 week. Remember when they did Raw Reunion, what was it, last year? And you had Austin and Ric Flair on that show. The ratings went up. The next week, they went curling back down. This is not the fucking solution. It has never been the solution. This is a Band-Aid. A very, very weak Band-Aid over the big wound that is Monday Night Raw's ratings. When this is done and over with, and we come to the next week, because when it comes to something like this, you don't even count that week because you know it's going to be a big rating. You look at the next week. So, if WWE hit the big reset button on Monday on WWE, starting on the first Raw of the year, and they started that, the ratings wouldn't matter in that first week. It's the next week, because that's when you see if everything that you're doing is working. Having the legends on Monday Night Raw that first week is not going to mean a damn thing in the long run. They are just so short-sighted on what they want, like getting the ratings up. Monday Night Raw is going to be suffering until Vince McMahon goes, until Bruce Pritchard goes. The shareholders need to have a meeting and kick every single one of these motherfuckers out and start over. Give the fucking reins to Triple H, who has some kind of fucking idea what the current fans want. WWE will never get better. Raw is going to continue to fall. The only thing keeping SmackDown interesting right now is Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, and that's it. That's it. Roman Reigns, for the majority of the time, is what's keeping SmackDown interesting. After that, Sasha's holding it on for a bit, but it's real. She's taking a hit because her feud with Bayley was cut ever so short. But it is what it is. The ratings are going to continue to fall on Raw. Next week is going to be the last episode on Monday Night Raw before the new year, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be low ratings as well. So Orton enters the ring. He poses in the corner. Orton does his signature pose. He takes the mic and goes on about being sick and twisted and deranged and demented. And at TLC, he proved he is each and every one of those things when he burned the Fiend alive. Other normal people may have issues when they set a man on fire, but the Fiend is no man, and Orton is not normal. He enjoyed every second of it as he stood by and watched the Fiend burn. He kneels down in the middle of the ring and says, "This is exactly where it happened. If I close my eyes, I can still see his flesh burning." Orton says the stench of burning flesh lingers. I mean, you're in the Thunderdome and it just happened the night before. Of course it would still linger. Orton says he didn't sleep last night because the voice in his head he's grown accustomed to, which also enables him to rest peacefully at night, those voices are gone. They don't exist in his head after last night. Well, of course, those voices saw that what you did and like, man, we out. Hold on, let me just hit. Okay. The only thing he hears is the Fiend gasping for his last breath as the fire grew hotter and the flames grew higher. He declares that the Fiend is gone and the Fiend is no more. And Orton is the evil son of a bitch that took him out. Lights go down. Orton leaves the ring. It's still like half the lights are up, and he's like, just shaking his head like, no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Lights go down, and and it was in this moment when the lights come back up that you knew that this segment was pre-taped, because immediately the lights go back up. There is a swing set, a horse, and Alexa Bliss in the middle of the ring swinging on the swing. I was like, there's no fucking way. Not even the Flash could have got that thing assembled in the short amount of time the lights were out. Just not happening. So she asked Orton if she's expecting someone else. She's wearing one of those head microphones, which I think WWE should be utilizing a lot more. He built this for her, she said, and we'll just call it Alexa's playground. She tells Orton to come in the ring. She says he's probably worrying where he is now. He could be at the tanning salon because he's looking kind of pale, or he could be at the beach, but she hopes he doesn't get sunburned. He could be at his favorite restaurant, eating his favorite food, barbecue. She laughs some more. Bliss says Orton is right. It was right here in the ring where you can smell his burning flesh. It's almost like the Fiend was absorbed into the mat. He is home, but if he ever leaves home, he might come to Alexa's playground, and if so, it'll be unlike anything we've ever seen before. And then the lights go out, and the arena is black as Bliss stares at Orton. The lights come back up, and the announcers are playing up to the seriousness of the situation, and Orton and them, we don't see them anymore. Can I just say something that the ring announcers have been fucking awful from last night, and the way they were calling that entire scene to anything that has to do with this segment, they were just fucking atrocious. It just came off as so fake, so phony, and it's just so bad. So, on Friday, it has been announced that Asuka and Charlotte Flair, who are the Women's Tag Team Champions and have the right to go to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, are going to be defending their titles for the first time this Friday. Now, the only team I can think of them defending them against is, the Riot Squad. But would you want to waste that now? I don't know. We go back to the ring, and it's Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair and Asuka. I've asked this on Parler, I've asked this all over the place. What was the point of breaking up Peyton Royce and Billie Kay if all you were going to do was put Peyton Royce in a tag team with Lacey Evans, where they don't mesh well at all? They aren't even close to on the same level. I didn't like the Moronics whatsoever because I just think they were a terrible tag team, but you could see that they had chemistry together, and they worked very well together. Wasn't the best, but But now you have her wrestling with Peyton Royce and being this whole tag team. Why? I thought you were breaking them up to give Peyton Royce a singles run. On top of that, we go to SmackDown, and now Billie Kay is trying to audition women to be her tag team partner. What was the point? You don't break up a tag team just to put him in another tag team. Look at Otis. Same thing. Him and Heavy Machinery. Him and Tucker were broken up from Heavy Machinery, only to be put into another tag team with Chad Gable. It just doesn't make any sense. So we have ourselves a match here. It went about maybe 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Charlotte and Asuka get the win as Flair puts Peyton Royce in the figure 8, and that was that. Now, I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, just like probably everyone else was, why did this match happen? Because Charlotte and Asuka are 2-3 levels above Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. And again, Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans just don't have that mesh. They don't mesh. They just don't feel like they're good. They should be teaming together. We see Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Keith Lee backstage warming up for their main event match. Back from break, and we see a video of how Titus O'Neil recently teamed up with locals to give a new card to a local middle school employee. He's all happy, yada yada yada. We see what happened earlier with the Miz TV, John Morrison, and backstage now. Miz is on the phone with someone now trying to get his Money in the Bank title shot reinstated because it was Morrison who cashed into TLC, which is, I don't care, it was cashed in, bullshit. I know WWE's like, well, this is WWE going, well, we fucked up because Miz has nothing now. If Miz is not Mr. Money in the Bank, he has nothing. Miz TV, Dirt Sheet, or trash. They both need to be canceled. And he's got nothing. Holiday Street Fight, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Keith Lee versus AJ Styles, The Miz, and John Morrison. So, this is supposed to be a street fight. They got tables out there covered in wrapping, cookies, eggnog. You have kendo sticks covered in white wrapping with red string going around them to make them look like candy canes. They got all this plunder and all these cookies with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre during the commercial break. Went out and indulged in some cookies. I mean, that's what I would do. All them nice, good baked goods out there. I'm eating most of those motherfuckers. Screw you. So, again, this is a 6-man street fight. They even explicitly say, no disqualification, no countouts. Why are we not having a 6-man tornado match? Why are we not having these 6 guys just going in there, throwing hands at each other at the beginning of the match? Why is it a normal 6-man tag match for 95% of the match? This made no fucking sense. This was terrible booking. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, who booked it this way. Whoever said, well, we're going to have a street fight, but we're going to not have a street fight. We're just going to have everyone sit out there. They're going to wrestle a normal match, and then we'll get some things going on later on. The best spot of the night of the thing was almost caught John Morrison, and John Morrison's like, hey, we're all good and everything. So he just picks him up, or he has him in his arms, lifts him up, and throws him through a table. That and what almost did last night with The Miz out of the ring was the most physical he's gotten since he's been on Raw. So, the biggest talking point of this match is, can Sheamus and Keith Lee get along? Early on in the match, Keith Lee and Sheamus worked together a bit as Sheamus was tagged in by Keith Lee. And Sheamus is like, good job, smacking him on the shoulder. And you can just see Keith Lee take offense to that. And he's like, good job, man. He slaps him too. They go back and forth slapping each other. Then Keith Lee does the double slap on Sheamus' chest. Drew gets back in and he's like, guys, look what happens when we work together. We dominate. So basically the match comes down to an end where Drew McIntyre's going for the Claymore. Sheamus tags in. Drew's like, get him. He's going to do the bro. He wants his moment. Keith Lee tags in, takes the Spirit Bomb, hits it on Morrison, I believe it was. Hits Miz with the Spirit Bomb. 1, 2, 3, and the baby faces win. They celebrate for a second, but immediately after they raise their hands, Sheamus bro kicks Keith Lee, knocking his ass out. Drew turns to him and is like, why, damn it? I want the bag for you. Why? Why would you do that? I told him you were cool. And we go off the air as Sheamus just has this cold, dark stare at him. Stare out into space. He's not even paying attention to Drew. And that's how the show goes off the air. But this was Raw. It was terrible, as usual. I can't wait for Legends Week. Legends Raw in 2 weeks and get those ratings up for one show. You know what would be great? Is if they're at this very low, like next week's going to be terrible. This week's probably going to be terrible too. SmackDown's rating is going to suck on Friday. I'm going to tell you that right now. But it would be funny if they have the lowest rated show of all time next week. And then the week after that, it jumps up to 2. And they think, oh my God, we got ourselves back up to 2 because there's no more Monday Night Football after this week. This was the final week. And then the week after, it just goes crashing down again. And hopefully they would finally see that, a 1 week ratings boost is not enough. They need to figure out how to build new stars. Drew McIntyre is like the only star this year that they have built on Raw. SmackDown, of course, they built Roman Reigns the right way. Kevin Owens, they built last night to be who should be the babyface to take the title off of Roman Reigns in a cage match this Friday, by the way. But, Monday Night Raw sucked. And it will always suck as long as Vince McMahon's in charge. Legends Week is not going to do a damn thing different. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for a real good wrestling show, I hope. Until then, which I don't know when that view is going to go up because NBA starts on tomorrow. TNT is going to have a special presentation of the NBA on Wednesday. So AEW is going to be on at either 10 or right after. So we might be reviewing AEW early Thursday morning. But until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.